Behold, Canada's Capitol building.
Rendered in shimmering and eternal limestone, grand on a scale reflective of the great country it is meant to represent.
It is the architectural crown jewel of Kingston, Ontario, the enduring seat of power for the great nation of Canada. It's also where I'm going to go pay this parking ticket, this municipal parking ticket, because all that cool stuff I just talked about didn't last for very long. So, what happened? Well, a few things. And in my layman way, I will do my best to explain how this magnificent Capitol building became Kingston, Ontario's temple of broken dreams. Disappointment can be hard. We all have to cope with it. And regardless of how many times we go through it, it can still sting. Best we can hope for is to maybe learn something from it, and hopefully that'll help us deal with future disappointments. And company helps too. Disappointment as a shared experience can be easier. Sometimes it's just nice to know that you're not alone in your pain. I imagine this is how contemporary Kingstonians must have felt when they learned that their beautiful Capitol building was no longer going to be used for that purpose, and in fact, the capital of Canada was moved right out of here, before they even had a chance to finish this thing. Begun in 1841, but not completed until 1844, Kingston was no longer the capital of Canada by the time this building was completed. In the interim, Capitol was moved to Montreal and Toronto and back to Montreal and ultimately landed in Ottawa. But you know what? That's fine. We don't even want it. We don't need to be the capital. I mean, if Canada was still the capital of Canada, we would have had to deal with that freedom convoy. Remember that? Every Canadian narcissist with gas money went to Ottawa to loiter and literally toot their own horn for a month? Yeah, we don't need that. Thanks anyway. The design is by Kingston architect George Brown. Incorporating these beautiful radius corners and of course the classical dome, this building, in a word, is regal. I mean, have a look around any comparable sized city in Canada. You will not find anything like this. So construction is in a T shape with a market building out the back here, which was known as the Shambles. That formalized a use that this space had had since the early 1700s. Fire in 1865 saw this market building here needing to be rebuilt in a substantially smaller version than what it was. And as well, in 1901, I believe, there was a fire that claimed the dome and it was rebuilt, and a clock was incorporated in the new build. So what do you do with a magnificent pile of rocks like this that doesn't really have a purpose? Well, that was the question that City Council had to answer for itself in 1844. And the answer that they came up with was anything that you can. Aside from committed space for city business and the prompt installment of the police headquarters upon completion of the building, the array and variety of tenants was dizzying. Let's just consult my notes here. Post office, customs office, Mason's Lodge, the Orange Order, a saloon, a church, a bank, dry goods merchant, and a theater, among many others. Larger spaces were rented out for lectures, balls, bazaars, you name it. There was even a poorhouse in the basement for a while. That didn't work out very well. The market endures to this day. I'm fond of saying, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, it is the longest continuously running farmers market in North America. The building models along as Kingston City Hall. Ironically, something that was too big for purpose at its time has actually been filled up and used to full capacity by the city, and in fact offices have been spread out throughout other buildings as well. More recently, the building has grown into a new and glamorous sideline as a film and movie set for period pieces. Its credits include Murdoch Mysteries, Nikita, which is a television series I believe is shot in the 90s, and a film called Vendetta, shot for HBO. Now, here's something I've always found pretty interesting about this building, is these little niches here that were originally intended to house statuary that never arrived owing to the Capitol never arriving. I harbor this pet hope that one day the city will decide to put some statuary in there, maybe showcasing some Kingstonians of note. Robertson Davies and Gord Downie come to mind, you know, maybe Sean finds out. So it would seem that there's still a future left for this building that began its life with a little bit of uncertainty. A designation as historically significant in 1961 ensures that the building will be around for future generations to ponder and find new life for. In any event, guys, I think I'm going to call it there today. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any ideas about buildings in Kingston that you might like to see, I'd be happy to take those recommendations. And of course, if ever I've gotten anything wrong, I want to hear about that. And if you find value here, please consider subscribing. Maybe leaving a comment. You could always buy me a coffee. Have a good day, guys. Bye.